UCT Chemical Engineering Master student Matimba Mabonda has developed a sustainable, low-cost 3-bedroom home using a natural soil with recycled waste plastic and glass. Now, through his startup, Lola Green, focused on sustainable construction, Mabonda built the eco-friendly house in under a month. His research and creation is seen as a climate control and cost-effective alternative to conventional housing and possible solution to addressing the country's waste and housing challenges. He joins us now to tell us more about this project and his work. Good morning, and thank you so much for your time, Matimba.
Morning, Ms. Chaba. Thanks for having me, and good morning to your viewers at home.
Now, you grew up in a shack in Enedale. How much of your background, let's start getting to know you first, influenced where you are today and coming up with these kind of solutions? Okay,
it's a good question. So yeah, growing up in a shack is it's not glamour. It's not a house. It's like a tin. So when it's cold, it's cold. When it's hot, the dust, and yeah, so it's not very conducive. So growing up, I've always wanted to change that for my family and give them a decent home, restore dignity. So I think that's how my background influenced me. And also the drive to focus on studies to one day change the situation at home. So yeah, that was the biggest influence from home.
That is fantastic. And now, speaking of your studies, you are trained as a chemical engineer. Yes. How much of that background helped you think differently about construction?
Okay, so I'll start firstly with my undergrad. So it was in chemical engineering at UCT. So what resonated with me more, besides the problem solving that they teach us, was the concepts of sustainability, climate change. And that for me was, it so resonated with me that I could only imagine one day solving this issue at home, coming up with a climate resilient solution. So yeah, and then also going to my master's, if I were to add, it expanded my research in terms of on how to synthesize or do things differently. So yeah, so it did play a big role.
So take us through the process of building a house using waste.
Okay. So yeah, so what we do at first, we take natural soil, we analyze that first for its composition, and then we also add plastic waste. It's cleaned and then it's shredded. We also add stabilizers to the mix to make sure that the mixture holds and then becomes strong like a brick. And then from there, we stack them all together. We have a tensioning plan in place to make sure that it doesn't collapse. And our foundation is, we use the conventional one. It's just the walls that are done differently.
I was actually going to ask you about that because a lot of people would hear soil and plastic waste and immediately wonder, is this actually safe and strong? What do you tell them?
Yeah, so the game changer there is adding the stabilizer to make sure that it becomes stable. And also we do apply structural engineering thinking into that to make sure that it doesn't collapse. As I talk now, it's a house that we are living in. I'm from there now this morning. So yeah, so it's well applied, engineering applied, science backed. So it's not a thing of just where you just make do. It's a solution that's climate resilient. And then there's also research that has started many years ago into earth building. So what we are doing strongly differently at Lola Green is the addition of plastic waste. As you've mentioned, there's a lot of it that's polluting our environment. So that's the most innovative part that we've really added into the whole mix.
Now, in under a month, you've built a complete home for your family. And people who've seen it in person say they can't tell it apart from a brick and mortar house. What has life actually been like for you and your family since moving in?
It's been good. Yeah, it's been very good, I must say. It's something that I'm really proud of, and something that I'm also, hence the startup, to further offer to other people that are in need of sustainable housing. And then if I were to add, it has cooling properties. In the winter, it's cool. In the summer, then it's warm. So by virtue of design, you do not need any additional heating or air conditioning or a fan. So it's a saving on your pocket. And yeah, so it's a proud moment. Yeah.
What's been the biggest barrier so far? Is it technology or funding or regulation?
Regulations have been the biggest barrier, but what we do is to, as we are developing this this concept, what we are doing is to have the relevant parties on board, to keep them aboard of what we are doing. So we do have regular meetings like your CSIR, for example. In 2024, we were part of their entrepreneurship development program, and then so that we do not build in isolation, we keep them away. So in terms of certification, it's still a path that we are pursuing now to make sure that we can fully build at scale for people that are in need. But as it stands, yes, we are already building for clients, you know. Yeah,
this is fantastic because one of South Africa's biggest problems is the cost of housing. How much cheaper is your method compared to traditional construction?
Okay, so using the 220 millimeter double brick wall as a baseline, you're looking at about 20 to 40% saving. So for instance, if the 220 millimeter brick wall were to cost 100,000 rands, with us you'll spend around 70 to, let's say, 70 to 80. So yeah, there's some savings back into your pocket as a customer.
Okay, so if a municipality wanted to build hundreds of homes using this approach, could it realistically scale up?
Yes, definitely, because the bulk of the material is natural soil, and that we do not transport from A to B. Wherever we get, let's say we are in, we did this in Innerdale. If we're to be in a different place, let's say Limpopo, we will do soil tests of the soil in there, you know. So there's no bulk movement. Logistics-wise, it's a huge saving.
So how much would it cost to typically make a 3-bedroom house?
3-bedroom, because with this, we spend around 120 for a 7-roomed house. So 3-bedroom, we're looking at about half of that, yeah.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
Wow. What message do you have for the young Matimba out there who maybe, you know, growing up under the difficult circumstances that you did?
Yeah. Okay, so the message I would have for them is just to keep believing. Just believe in yourself, keep dreaming and make it work. And also remember that working in isolation doesn't help. You know, involve as many people as you can, because that's where you leverage, that's where you can learn, and then, get a good value add.
Revolutionary. How do people get a hold of you?
So on Facebook, all across all social platforms, we are known as Lola Green, so you can search us there. Yeah.
Right.
Then my WhatsApp number 064-904-4488.
Thank you so much for your time.
Okay. Thanks, Ms. Chaba, for having me.
All right. Wow. Incredible. What a note to end it on. That was UCT Chemical Engineering Master student Matimba Mabonda.